A year after his play Death of a Salesman opened to great acclaim, Arthur Miller wrote an essay strenuously asserting that a tragic hero did not have to be a person of exalted rank or abilities, as in the classic plays of the Greeks and Shakespeare, but that he could be, like the salesman Willy Loman, a very ordinary person. A few years later, Miller made another ordinary man, a dock worker in the Red Hook section of Brooklyn, the protagonist of another tragedy, A View from the Bridge. But Miller maybe hedges his bets a little here. He provides a kind of chorus figure to make the case to the audience that attention should be paid to Eddie Carboni, the longshoreman, Alfieri, the lawyer who, as lawyers do, argues the rights and wrongs, the guilt and innocence of people and their actions, finds a kind of purity in Eddie in the single-mindedness with which he insists on clearing his name, even at the cost of his life. He's like another Miller hero, John Proctor in The Crucible, who also sacrificed his life by refusing to give his name to a lie. Proctor was not guilty of what he was accused of, though he was guilty of something else. Eddie was guilty of what he was accused of. Both men were tripped up by their sexual desires. Proctor acknowledged his. Eddie did not. He could not, because the object of his lust was his 17-year-old niece, the daughter of his wife's late sister, whom he'd helped raise. Eddie and his wife both came from immigrant families from Sicily, and Alfieri invests Eddie with some tragic aura borrowed from the ancient Greek settlers of that island. Two cousins of his wife, hard-pressed to feed a family in an Italy in the 1950s still recovering from the war, slip in past immigration to try to find work. But when the younger brother of the two and the niece fall in love and plan to marry, Eddie is driven by the feelings he cannot admit to violate the strict code of his community. In the current Clayton Community Theatre production, Isaiah DiLorenzo paints a powerful portrait of Eddie, looking increasingly haunted as the days pass. As his wife, Erin Struckhoff, knows what's happening, tries quietly and then desperately to fend off disaster. Emily Leidenfrost's niece does not quite know what's happening, but she learns to stand up for herself. As her young man, Dan Heise, tries to win Eddie's approval, as the older brother, Joe Ruskey, though he looks a little young for the older brother, he's willing to confront Eddie more directly. Panagiotis, Papavlasopoulos, and Michael Monsey are a couple of Eddie's buddies from the waterfront. Nash, Shahana, and Hal Morgan are the couple who live upstairs and shelter their own immigrant, Dennis Schultz. Terry TenBroek and Jeff Struckhoff play immigration officers. Sam Hack is the lawyer Alfieri, sometimes a little more deliberate than even a lawyer needs to be. And I'm not convinced Miller really needs this character in the play. Joe Hanrahan has directed a tight, intelligent production. He also designed the sound. Julie Smalley's costumes help keep us aware of the period. Steve Meyer's black, white, and gray set works efficiently, lighted by Nathan Schrader. Eric Kuhn choreographed the convincing fights. Miller does know how to construct a drama and how to give you more than just an hour's diversion.
He certainly does, and you know how to say very interesting things about these plays.
Well, thank you, thank you. It's an interesting play.